We all want our loved ones to stay independent in their own homes for as long as they possibly can. And a huge part of that comes down to one room, the kitchen. So today, we're going to break down 6 really simple do-it-yourself updates that can totally transform that space, making it safer and building a whole lot of confidence. Okay, let's get into it.
So let's just stop and think about this for a second. We call the kitchen the heart of the home, right? It's this place of warmth and family and good food. But for an older adult, could that same space actually be full of hidden dangers? You've got hard-to-reach shelves, maybe a slippery floor, tricky little knobs. Suddenly, just making a meal can become a real source of stress and risk.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. It's not really just about cooking, is it? It's about dignity, it's about routine, and it's about the simple ability to take care of yourself. When the kitchen turns into an obstacle course, well, that affects everything. And that's exactly why making it more accessible is so incredibly important.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. Oh no, this sounds like a huge, expensive remodeling project. But I've got some really good news for you. The solutions we're about to go over are specifically designed to be affordable and totally doable. These are practical, DIY updates that you can actually do yourself without breaking the bank.
So here's a quick look at our game plan. We've talked about the challenge, now we're going to dive into some real solutions for visibility, accessibility, and grip strength. And then we'll wrap it all up by looking at the huge impact these small changes can have.
All in all, we're going to cover 6 really powerful tips. So let's jump right into our first category.
First up, enhancing visibility. As we get older, our vision can change, which makes a well-lit and clearly defined space absolutely crucial for staying safe. So these first few updates are all about making the kitchen brighter and way less confusing to navigate. So when it comes to lighting, the goal is to make it both brighter and easier to use. So, step 1, rocker switches. These are a total game changer for someone with arthritis, because you can just use your whole hand or even an elbow. Step 2, get some brighter, softer LEDs in there to cut down on any harsh glare. And finally, step 3, task lighting. This just means putting light exactly where you need it, like over the sink or the cutting board. It gets rid of shadows and helps prevent accidents.
Okay, what I love about these ideas is how simple and clever they are. For someone with limited vision, that little contrasting border of tape can literally prevent a fall. And the red nail polish on the stove knob, that is such a brilliant, low-cost visual cue that you can spot from across the room to know it's off. Puffy paint adds a sense of touch, so you can actually feel for the right setting on the microwave instead of squinting at tiny print.
All right, let's move on to our next section, improving accessibility. This is all about rethinking the kitchen layout to cut down on those risky movements. Bending down too far, reaching way up high, or worst of all, using a wobbly step stool.
Probably the most powerful tip here costs absolutely nothing. Just move the stuff you use every day, plates, glasses, your favorite mug, to that prime real estate zone between your waist and shoulders. No more reaching, no more crouching. And storing things like baking sheets vertically, it means you can just slide one out instead of lifting a whole heavy stack. For a small investment, things like a Lazy Susan or pull-out shelves literally bring the back of the cabinet right to you.
Now this is a fantastic workaround. Lowering all the countertops in a kitchen is a massive, super expensive job. But you know what isn't? Adding a simple 30-inch high table or a little kitchen cart. It does the exact same thing for a tiny fraction of the cost. It creates this perfect, accessible workstation for someone in a wheelchair, or really anyone who finds standard counters just a bit too high.
Okay, our final set of tips is all about the hands. Things like arthritis or just general weakness can make twisting knobs and gripping handles really painful. These next couple of updates are designed to solve that exact problem.
And you can see the difference so clearly here. Those little round knobs, they force you to use a tight, pinching grip, which can be really tough. But if you just swap them out for these wider D-shaped pulls, you can use your whole hand or even just a couple of fingers to open a drawer easily. This is a quick 5-minute fix for each drawer that makes a huge, huge difference every single day.
And it's the exact same idea for the faucet. Those old-school twisty knobs need real wrist strength and a firm grip. A modern lever-style faucet, though, well, you can just nudge it on or off with the back of your hand, or even your elbow, which is perfect if your hands are full or just feeling a bit weak.
And if you want the ultimate upgrade, you can get rid of the need to touch the faucet at all. A motion sensor faucet is fantastic, and it comes with this amazing bonus safety feature: it shuts off by itself. That can prevent a serious flood if the water gets left on by mistake. And hey, if a whole new faucet isn't in the budget, you can find simple adapters that give you that same hands-free benefit.
So we've gone through 6 key updates, but let's just step back for a second and talk about why all of this really matters. Because this is about so much more than just convenience. It's about quality of life.
And that is the absolute heart of it, right there. Being able to safely make yourself a cup of tea or a simple lunch, that is fundamentally tied to a person's sense of self-worth and independence. Every little task they can do on their own is a small victory that contributes to a positive outlook.
So I guess the big takeaway here is that you don't need a massive renovation. These small, thoughtful adjustments, a better light switch, a new drawer pull, a little bit of nail polish, they all add up. Together, they can make a massive difference, empowering your loved one to live more safely and more confidently in their own home.
So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. It can feel like a lot, I know, but you don't have to do everything at once. What's just one small, manageable change from this list that you could tackle this week? What's one thing you can do to start making that positive difference right now?